Hello, friends. Hi, this is Patty Bennett. How exciting that we get to look at the new Stampin' Up! Catalog today. I have new products to show you. I have tips for organizing your catalog if you like to get it spiral bound like I do. And we have some samples to look at with new product. So just welcome, welcome, welcome. It's really an exciting day. I love when I can actually start to show you the inside of the catalog without any problem, because at first when it comes out, Stampin' Up! Does not let us show the inside. So we have to wait till it's live to customers, which was May 2nd. So hey, if you are joining in live, could you do me a favor and say hello so that I know I have some people here? Hey, I just saw Kelly from Wisconsin. Hello. Shan is here. Oh, and snow again in Utah. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so just wanted to say welcome. This is Patty Bennett. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I blog at pattystamps.com. I have been blogging there for, gosh, I think about 15 years. It's been a long time. And I have been through, I counted up, this will be my 30th, well, this is my 30th new catalog release with Stampin' Up! Because I started getting catalogs in 1993 and I joined as a demonstrator in 1995. So can you imagine that? 30 new catalogs. And I think it's actually more because at one point, I think it was maybe 2 years, Stampin' Up! Released 2 annual catalogs a year. And then they went to the now system with the mini catalogs. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of catalogs. Oh, hello, Linda, Betty, Sue, Faith, Kathy, Keisha, Christine, Pam, Holly. Hello, everybody. I think I missed a few because it says 46 more people, but welcome everyone. So glad that you're here. So if you are catching me live, today is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, and it is 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching a replay, and you might also be watching a replay on pattystamps.com or on my Facebook page. So wherever you're watching, just wanted to say hello and welcome. Oh my goodness, Faith has 22 catalogs. She's kept every one of them. I know. How exciting. Yes, Holly, 30 years. Can you believe that? So 28 years as a demonstrator and a couple years as a customer. Betty, thank you. I'm glad you caught me live as well. Hi, Therese. Good morning. Hello, Amanda in Australia. And Louise from the UK. Yes, I have kept all those catalogs, Mary. I've posted pictures of them a couple of times, and I'm going to have to get them back out and post that again because it's just really fun to see them all. All right, so let's get going. Today, we are going to look at the catalog that just launched a couple days ago on May 2nd. And I always like to go through and show you how I organize it and get it spiral bound and how I use these Post-it tabs to organize and why I do that, because I know that usually you are interested in the why. And then I have a whole bunch of new products. Like, look, here's just a little tiny sneaky peeky here. We're going to look at new products. Look at this, new punch. I've got new stuff to show you over here. And we're going to look at that. So excited. Can you tell? So normally when you either get a catalog from your demonstrator or if you are a demonstrator and you buy boxes of catalogs, this is what they look like. They have the glued binding edge like this with the dates. And this is how I send them out to my customers. So I always have this sticker on the back with the dates and my contact information, where to shop with me, where to find my blog with daily ideas and posts so that my customers have that info. Inside, I also put this little postcard. I do this instead of a business card. So this has a QR code that goes to my blog and links to find me. And then a shopping list, because I don't know about you, but I just love lines. I love to fill out forms, and I think it goes all the way back to childhood. I love to do that. And then I have my free stamps with Patty form, which is my customer loyalty program. So when you have 8 orders of $50 or more, or, it could be a $100 order, it takes up 2 spots. $150 order would take up 3 spots. However you want to fill that up, you get to select $40 in free product of your choice when you fill this out and you mail it to me, and there's the address. So that's what comes in my customer catalog, and that's how they look. But what I like to do with mine is I take it to either Staples or FedEx Kinko's or somewhere like that, and I have them spiral bind it. So you ask them just to cut off just a very little bit of the glued edge, as little as possible. I remember one year, this is probably about 10 or 12 years ago, they literally cut off an inch, and then inside my catalog, all the stuff was cut off. And after I picked it up, I said, wait, excuse me, you just ruined 5 of my catalogs. Why did you do that? Anyway, so it doesn't hurt to say cut off as little as possible. I get a clear cover on the front just to protect it, and I get a solid cover on the back, again, just to kind of protect it. That's just personal choice. It doesn't matter. And then here's what I do. Across the top, I use these little smaller sized Post-it tabs. I think they measure about an inch. Yeah, they're an inch wide, 1 inch wide. And I write the name of either the suite, the bundle, or the stamp set on that page. Now, I don't do them all because I generally don't label things that are returning that I already have. I label new things, and I label things that I have either purchased or that I'm going to purchase, that I know I'm going to use, and that I know I'm going to blog about. The reason I do this is because I spend hours referencing products in the catalog when I am doing blog posts for you, when I'm doing social media graphics, when I'm helping my team or my customers answering emails and questions. And I don't know about you, but nothing makes me, well, okay, some things make me more crazy, but I just don't like flipping and flipping and flipping, and I think I know what page it's on, and then I go this way and I can't find it, and then I go this way and I can't find it. So this helps me to see those things that I know that I am going to be referencing a lot. So for instance, balloons, this new cute, beautiful balloon bundle, bright and beautiful collection or suite. I know I'm going to be using that a lot, and so I've written balloons. Here's one tip. When you write on these, grab a Sharpie that has a pretty good tip on it, fairly new. If you use an older one, the tip gets kind of mushed down and it's a pretty wide letter and you'll run out of space. So that's just a tip. So then the next one I did was the circle sayings, because I love this. I've used this a lot already. I know I'll be using it in the future. Now this one I just wrote shops because I really didn't need to write lay shops. I just know that this is the lay shops bundle or suite collection, whatever you want to call it. And so shops was good enough for me. Zoo, the adorable zany zoo crew. Love this. I've used this. You've seen me use this. It's so fun. Monkey, cannot wait to start using this. It is so cute. Comes with a matching punch. It's adorable. I'm really excited to jump into this. And then this one will make you giggle. So do you see what I've labeled it? Do you see that? It says rug. And you're like, what the heck, right? You're thinking, what is she talking about? Okay, so here's the deal. When demonstrators first got to see this catalog online, an early sneak peek, one of the perks of being a demonstrator, I was going, and I'm not going to name names because I didn't talk to her about this before, but I was going through the catalog with some friends. We were all looking at it online and we were chatting, and we got to this page, and one of my friends was talking about the rug set. And I kept thinking, the what? The rug set. What is she talking about? And then I looked at this particular graphic right here and I thought, she's right. It looks like a rug. And I was absolutely cracking up. And so I forever in my mind am going to call this the rug set, just because it looks like a rug, doesn't it? This right here looks like a rug. Now, it doesn't necessarily look like a rug when you're using it in different projects. I mean, they're beautiful the way they've used the dies and cut all the layers apart. But just this image right here, I was cracking up. So there we go. That's why this one says rug, and it's going to make me smile every single time that I see it. Textured floral. I'm going to be using this in an upcoming event, and I am very excited to use it. It's beautiful. I love the soft watercolor look that you get with this sort of distinctive image. And so, yeah, I labeled that one. Darling Details, another new one that I purchased, and I'm excited to use it. It's just sort of happy and fun, and I love these frames that are in this set. There are 2 different frames, as well as a sort of a scallopy lacy border. So I'm excited to use this. Earthen Elements, or Elegance, excuse me. At first, let me just tell you, a lot of people are flipping by this because they're thinking, whoa, this is so different. What is this? It's like it's hard to wrap your brain around this. But here's what I have been doing to enjoy this is I just sort of block out all but 1 or 2 samples, and I just kind of look at the sample, and it's gorgeous. And if you take just 1 sample at a time or 1 pattern of the paper at a time, this is really stunning. It's beautiful, and it does really unique things. This die that you can make it into a fan, sort of a leaf. I think this is going to be fun to work with. I'm very excited. I have it over here, and I'm excited to get it. So if there's anything like this that kind of challenges your brain, so to speak, if that makes sense, yeah, just sort of block it out, look at one thing at a time, just look at one thing, look at the beauty of those pots, the dies, the way they've used the paper, and I think you'll really appreciate it. I tagged the space bundle. I call it the space bundle. I know it's stargazing. That didn't fit on the tab. I call it the space bundle. So there you go. And this paper is pretty dang amazing, I have to tell you. The what are they calling this? Holographic. I was going to say iridescent, but holographic paper is very amazing as well. You've seen me use the crafting bundle. So cute. I've made so many things with this. Love this so much. Layering leaves. I think this might be about my favorite thing in the catalog, at least top 5. It's $1 Million Achiever Rachel Tessman's set. Love, love, love the fonts and the sayings. And then the bow punch punches out the leaves. So really great way to kind of dip back into last year's catalog and pull out a punch and have another use for it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful set. Daisy bundle. Oh my gosh, I just watched Tammy's video yesterday, and she really did a great job explaining all the dies and all the layers. I mentioned her video when I showed you the quilt cards a couple weeks ago, so you may have already been to her channel, Cards by TLC, and she did a great job explaining all the layering of all the daisy dies, so now I'm super excited to use that. And then the last tab across the top was for the background stamps. And these I'm excited to use. Let me just show you, just to point out, this is the actual size. It's a card. It takes up the whole card front, a regular 4 1/4 by 5.5 size. So even though in the catalog they look like they're tiny little postage size stamps, they are not. And it says that they are shown at, like it says, shown at 35%. And then this little bit here shows you what it really looks like, lifelike, 100%. So just in case you've never purchased one of the background stamps and you didn't know that about that page, I just thought I would point that out. So then down the right side, I use a larger size tab. So this is the particular tab that I like, and it measures 2 inches wide. They come in these little pop-up, so you just sort of pull it out like that. It's sticky on one side, and then it has this area where you write. And what I do with these is I label, again, sort of the main sections that I am going to refer to again and again and again, like the color families, storage and assortments. And let me just point out, if this page to me gets a little lost, these are the assortment packs. So if you just want a few sheets of each bright color or neutral, regal, or subtle, this is where you find the cardstock for that, 8.5 by 11 and 12 by 12. Or if you want the assortment of all 10 ink pads at a discount, or all 10 re-inker bottles at a discount, or the package of markers, this is where you find those assortments. And one thing I'll point out in addition to that, well, you have the in colors also, but one thing here, this section right here, new core colors, if you only want those new colors that we talked about a month ago or so, like blueberry bushel, bubble bath, fresh freesia, lemon lime twist, lemon lolly, if you just need an assortment of the new colors, you can get the cardstock, 8.5 by 11, 12 by 12. You can get the package of the ink pads, 11 ink pads at a discount, or you can get the package of the markers. So don't overlook this page. This is a really helpful page. We've kind of gone over the new colors, but I thought maybe it would be good to point that out. Yes, Betty, love Rachel Tessman's set. Yes, definitely. Sorry, I'm just looking back at the comments. Oh, several of you love the Earth and Elegance. I'm so glad. Yes. Hi, Heather. Heather's here. The party can begin. Yeah, Regine Ann says it does look like a rug. John says yes. Isn't that funny? It's a kind of a funny reference, but it'll stick in your mind. And while we're on this page, let me just show you that there is a new set of watercolor pencils. So it has some of those new colors like pecan pie, and I know there was another new one in here. I thought there was. Well, freesia. I don't think we had a fresh freesia watercolor pencil before. So this has some new colors in it if you are looking for more watercolor pencils. Okay, moving on. So then I have labeled the bags and boxes page and the specialty paper page, which this takes a minute. You sort of have to, again, do what I said on the Earth and Elegance page and sort of block some things out and just look at a few things at a time, because this has a lot happening. 10 different packs of specialty papers happening here. So take a minute, digest this. And then I have the DSP section labeled, and what I did on this one was I just cut one of these tabs in half because DSP was short, didn't really need 2 inches of space. And then I think I put, yeah, the other half of that label here for punches. So I probably don't need to go through every one of these, but whatever sections you think you are going to need to reference often, like adhesive, embellishments, ribbons, the trimmer, any of those types of things. Like I'm always looking for the page with the envelopes, so I labeled that. Trimmer, scoring tool, punches, the blocks, the grid, and the chamois. So things like that, I just like to give it a quick label, and then I can reference those pages quite often. So that is why, oh, and why I get it spiral bound. I think I skipped that part. 2 reasons. When I have it either here at my crafting desk or downstairs in my office, I like it to lay completely flat. You know, when you have anything that's bound like this and you open it, it curves and sometimes it flips shut, right? It's very hard to keep it flat. And so that's the number 1 reason I love to spiral bind it. But then also, like, let's say we are working with, well, Earth and Elegance, for instance. And let's say I want to look at these samples while I'm stamping. I can just flip it like that. I can set it over here and I can work on my projects and I can just look at that page. So that's why I do it and why I label it, and some tips for you about these Post-it tabs. I don't remember, I think it's in tomorrow's blog post, May 6th at pattystamps.com. I put the information about these and I showed kind of a close-up of them and gave you some tips about that. So I'm going to pause just for a second and see if you had any questions about this. And then we're going to look at products. So let's see. Oh yes, Holly and Betty, some of you are commenting about the set that Rachel Tessman did. It is just beautiful, isn't it? Yes. Let's see. Yeah, the specialty paper page is a little confusing. I have a few of them to show you. I hope we can get through that today because I know we have a lot to go over. But I don't see any other questions about spiral binding or the tabs. So let me set that part aside and grab some new products to show you. So this is just sitting on top. So I'm just going to show you this first. Look at this really cool new punch. It's called Elegant Edge and it's a tag topper. And I decided, since it would save me time in the future, I measured this spot here up for the paper. It's 2 inches. So I added that to a label and stuck it on my punch. That way I am never going to have to remember or measure ever in the future. I will always just cut 2 inches wide and I can stick my cardstock directly in there and punch down, and look how pretty that is. Isn't that so gorgeous? So you could use that as the top of a tag like this. I did that here. Or you can punch both ends, any size that you'd like, and make a really gorgeous tag. I think this is super fun and super versatile. Love this so much. So again, Elegant Edge tag topper, 2 inches wide. You can do one or both ends, any size, any length. Isn't that fun? I love this. Love, love, love this. I think it's so pretty. I was just thinking, you know, that set we were looking at with Rachel Tessman's Really Pretty Greetings, wouldn't that be beautiful on here? Because it's just so pretty, like flowy and pretty, right? I think that would be so gorgeous. Love it. Therese says, you are so organized. I'm always trying to keep my space neat and clean. Let me just tell you something, Therese. If you could see the piles and piles and piles of new stuff I have piled all, you can't see it, it's all over there. Piles and piles of stuff to show you, you would laugh and you probably wouldn't have made that comment. But I do my best before a video for you to get as organized as I can so that I'm not like digging through boxes and I've got things here and ready to show you. But thank you. You did make me smile, definitely. Oh, I love it. What page is that punch? Well, it's on the punch page. So look how fun. We can just go to the punch page, right? And it is right here, page 148. Elegant Tag Topper Punch. So let's look at a couple of the new embossing folders. And I have some samples because I wanted to show you Twisted Rope. I don't know. It's probably got glare and lights, and I'm sorry, but let's look at the samples because that just makes it easier. This is called Twisted Rope, and it's a little difficult to see when you just emboss it on cardstock. But I want to show you the difference. Here, we'll do this. When you put a little ink on it with some blending brushes, I wanted it to look kind of like distressed and outdoorsy and weathered. I used copper clay and pecan pie ink with my blending brush on crumb cake cardstock. And doesn't that look cool? You could cut this in pieces, you could punch it out, you could die cut it, you could use it as a background. But do you see that difference? I think it makes quite a difference to add a little bit of ink to that. So that's twisted rope. And with exposed brick, again, I do think it's just easier to show you the samples. You can see on this piece of pecan pie and this piece of copper clay, I have inked half of it to show you what it looks like when you add a little ink with a blending brush. And then if you don't want to do that, you just get way more of a subtle look to your cardstock because the pattern's there, but you don't really see it. So depending on what you want to use it for, there's a big difference of adding the ink, and you just very gently with your blending brush swirl the ink on there like you've seen me do. And I think it's just really a cool look. So aren't those two? I think they're really pretty. I really love these. Exposed brick and twisted rope. And then let's show you the other one that's really neat. This is Delightful Doily. This is one of those hybrid embossing folders. So it has an embossing folder and it has the dies. And let me show you what all it does. So if you just simply put cardstock into the embossing folder, you're going to get this embossed doily look. Yes, I do, Louise. She's asking if I label my punches and embossing folders. Not all of my punches, but yes, all of my embossing folders. So can you see, it just gives you this really pretty raised embossed doily background if that's all you do is just emboss it. If you take, this is like, let's see, we had seashells and the citrus was like this. So inside the embossing folder, you can put this in at the same time of embossing. If you put this die and just a blank piece of white or, well, any color paper in there and run it through your die cutting machine, this one, you're going to get this. So it will emboss it and die cut it. I'm just trying to make sure that you can see the detail. I think you can. Is that coming through okay for everybody? Isn't it pretty? So then you get a doily. But now there's more you can do. Wait, there's more. If you use this little die right here, this center one, it's going to cut out the middle. So you would then have kind of a wreath looking piece and you would have a tiny doily. So there's 3 really cool options. Oh yes, Ringed with Nature was the other one, Louise. Thank you. So 3 options sort of with just the embossing folder and this piece and this piece. Okay. 4 options really because, right, we have that. So 4 options. You can have just a embossed piece. You can have the big doily. You can have a wreath piece and you can have a little doily. That's with that. And then this piece, you just run it through with cardstock and you're going to get that kind of a doily with all the little cutouts. And I think that is really something else. I think that's beautiful. And just think about the possibilities of using your blending brush with colors or using different colors of cardstock, different DSP. I think that would be really gorgeous. Really neat, right? So the possibilities mixing and matching with this, I just think it's fabulous. I think it's a lot of fun. Stampin' Up! Did put a lot of thought into this. And then, of course, there's this piece. You could do a shaker card with that after you die cut this out of it. So many possibilities. My goodness, Stampin' Up! Good job, good job. Good job. So yeah, these were the other pieces that, as I was making samples, I'm just going to hang on to them in case I want to do a shaker with those. And I should say, because I always do get questions, I use these, hang on, I'm doing this like a, sorry, silly. Okay, I always put my dies on Stampin' Storage magnet cards. That's the black piece. And then I put them in a Stampin' Storage pocket. And they measure 6 by 7. That's the size I like. There are other options on the Stampin' Storage site. I will link to that when this video is done. And I label them with a Brother P-Touch labeler. And I put a label both on the magnet. So see, this is on the magnet part. And this is on the tab. Now, just a note, these pockets have a scoop. Do you see how there's a scooped side? Now, you might think that's the front, but I just want to caution you that if you have little dies in a set and you have them up here and they're not covered by the plastic, you run the risk of them popping off and getting lost. So I always put the solid side on the magnet side. Just a preference. It's not, it's not a rule. It's not a law. It's just what I like to do so that I don't lose any dies. Okay, now this might be my favorite thing. Oh my goodness, you have to see this. This is going to get overlooked, and I'll show you why. But check this out. This is a set of 2 dies, and it is called Gorgeous Garden, and my goodness, it is. And I'll show you why it's going to be overlooked. Look at all this beautiness. All this beautiness. Because in the die section, here it is, page 164. It's up here, but it's hardly even featured in the catalog. I think it's shown on one page, but it's not really showcased. It's shown, but not showcased. Let's put it that way. Is that a reasonable way to say it, I think? And I could not wait. I knew this was going to be one of my most favorite things in the catalog. I couldn't wait. I was die cutting it this morning just for our video today. And let me tell you the fabulous news. There's no fussing. There's no fidgeting with the sandwiches. It just runs beautifully through the die cutting machine, at least the Stampin' Up one. I have the Stampin' Up, Stampin' Cut and Emboss. You use the gray plate. Let me grab the sandwich just to show you. So all you need is your platform piece, number 1, and your gray plate, number 4. That's all you need when you're, no, sorry. Wait, rewind. I was thinking of the embossing folders. Hang on. Oh my goodness. Can you tell I have like 9,000 things on my mind right now? So the gray plate was for those embossing folders I was showing you. So sorry about that. Okay, for these dies, you need your platform. You need the number 2. That's just the really thin white piece. You need a clear cutting plate, number 3. And then all I did was I took the die and I took either cardstock or DSP. We'll look at that, okay? Put them together. Now here's the tip. Here's what I like to do. Take a little Post-it note or a piece of Post-it tape and kind of hold them together, stick them together, flip upside down. And then do you see how this is at an angle? So my plate is straight, my paper and die are at an angle. That's the ticket to this. You put your plate on top. I ran it through and back. And I'm not kidding you. These came out 100% perfect. No fussing, no shim, no extra wax paper, nothing. Beautiful, beautiful die cuts. I was so impressed and so happy because I don't like to fuss and fidget. Like, I want it to work. And look how gorgeous. So this is actually that stargazing space paper. There's a beautiful green pattern and it's got kind of this little stippling, little dots in it. So when you lay that onto, for instance, white, can you see the little lights and darks? And it just looks like light filtering through onto leaves. Isn't that pretty, pretty, pretty? Oh my gosh, so pretty. I also die cut it just in Lemon Lime Twist, just to see what green would be. Now I think I'll take a blending brush and sort of dab color here and there to give that a little interest. Here's a piece of white just to see what it looked like with white. This is that paper, the stargazing paper that I used on that first one. And I thought that might look pretty layered on there. So this is a full card front. Isn't that gorgeous? And so that's one die. It comes with both. Here's the other die. And I die cut this out of the, is it Hello Irresistible or Irresistible Blooms? Hang on. It's Hello Irresistible. I just looked over at my pack. Hello Irresistible. And I die cut it so that it would have all those pretty colors out of that piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Then if you like flip your thinking and you die cut it with white, look how pretty if you just layer it onto that paper. So either way, or any color, oh my gosh, this makes my heart so happy. It's so pretty. Well, you all know I'm a flower girl, so again, gorgeous garden. Do you love it? Give me a thumbs up or a heart. Okay, you're all saying gorgeous. Holly loves the leaves. Yeah, so Katie, I agree. Katie said she was, debating about getting them because of potential trouble. You don't have to worry. Martha, good question. She says, do you always die cut upside down? Anything intricate? Yes, always upside down. Just if you're die cutting, like regular just shapes like this, no, those don't need to be upside down. But anything intricate, always flip it. Always, always. Let me see if there were other questions. Let's see. Yes, Sue fell in love with them as well. Pam says she missed them in the catalog. Yep, I'm telling you, they're going to be missed. They are going to be missed. Heather says, my pocketbook does not say thank you for showing this to me. So sorry. Oh, Shan says, now I want everything I've shown so far. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm telling you, some of these things are just, you have to see them to appreciate them. Sometimes in the catalog, we just skim over things, or somebody was saying, Katie was saying about potential trouble. So, if you are worried that it might be potentially troublesome, it's not, let me tell you. And let's see, somebody said, Sally, hard to glue down. Well, I haven't glued them yet because I just did this like an hour ago just to show you, but I'm just going to take my liquid glue and I'm just going to dab it in probably about 10 spots, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. So you probably could try the adhesive sheets, but I didn't try that yet. And my guess is it will be a little more difficult to die cut if you use adhesive sheets on these. I mean, it's natural because you're die cutting through another layer, plus you're die cutting through glue. So just beware. I sort of think that using a few dots of your glue is probably going to be the best bet. I cannot wait to make some cards with these. So pretty. They are delicate. Hang on, I'm trying to get this in between like a couple pieces. Okay, we'll pack that up later. I don't want to smash it. Let's look at new embellishments. Do you know what? This reminds me of the funniest thing. I'll just tell you real quick. Years ago, on one of the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip cruises, there was, I think this is where it happened. I'm pretty sure. We had like some kind of it was like a stamping, not a contest. I don't want to make it sound like too crazy, but Stampin' Up did something up on stage. They invited some husbands up and they were stamping. I'm pretty sure this is where it happened. And they had pearls or rhinestones or something. And they were saying that, you know, do you want to use the embellishments to one of the husbands? And he kept calling them blemishes. And we all cracked up because like they're far from a blemish, right? But every time I use an embellishment in my mind, I call it a blemish and I just laugh. I just think it's the funniest thing. Kind of like the rug stamp. You know, if you weren't here earlier, then you're probably like, what? Anyway, so let's look at some of the new embellishments. Tinsel Gems, there are a couple different packs, and I think they're my favorites. So this one is called a 4-pack. And it has, let's pull it out here so you can see. It has 4 colors, and I'm pretty sure this is my favorite embellishment pack in the entire catalog. I just love these colors. I love that there are different sizes. I love that you get a lot of each one. Love this. And this again is the Tinsel Gem 4-pack. And if you're new, if you haven't seen this before, this is how I store my embellishments. These little pockets, let me grab one without knocking over my camera. They are Avery pockets. They are called 4x6 vinyl envelopes by Avery, number 74806. And these I get on Amazon. There's 10 in here and they're fairly cheap. And the great thing is when I run out or I no longer use something, I just put a new label and put a new one in. I don't throw them away. So they're reusable. And I just use my Brother P-Touch. See how big that font is because I'm sort of half blind. You may not know this about me, but I got glasses when I was 3 years old. So my eyes have gotten worse every single year for 60 years. And yeah, so anyway, I need nice big fonts. That's why I label so much of my stuff. Anyway, yeah, so that's how I store them. And then they're all stacked up and they're in a little container over here and they sit on my desk. They're always out because I use embellishments a ton. All right, let's look at the matte ombre dots. And these are, I might need to trim this one just a little bit more because that's really tight in there. So you can see that I've cut off this one side. I think I need to cut that other side because that was a tight fit. So these are ombre in color, like the in color dots we had last year, and 2 sizes. And it's kind of nice because you get everything from a really light green to a darker one. Same with all 4 colors. So that's kind of cool. I like that. And I just noticed these are, I really don't want to pull this off because I like them stuck, but I want to show you. Yep, see, one just popped off. These are separated into different colors. So if you were doing an event or a class or stamping with some friends or sending some in a kit or something, it's really easy to separate the colors if you were needing to do that. Just saying. Okay, Tinsel Gem 3-pack. This one has 3 colors, whereas the one we looked at before has 4. And these are gorgeous, a little softer in color, a little bit more of a pastel feel. These feel very Eastery to me, very springy, very, very pretty. This next pack is called In Color Dots. So you can see I've already been using them because these were part of the pre-order. So I've already used several and they are in the 5 new in colors. Solid Gems. I think this is part of the Daisy suite. Pretty sure. So it has the colors of the Daisy paper. And these are, I would call them faceted. I don't know, it's maybe a little hard to see, but to me they're faceted and they have a bit of a shine to them because of all the facets. Kind of like when you're cutting a diamond, you know, and you have all the facets to make it sparkly. That's what that reminds me of. In Color Pearls. So these are last year's In Colors with the Starry Sky and the, oh, my mind just went blank. What's the, Orchid Oasis. I was trying to think of the other blue one. So you have last year's In Colors, lots of each color, which is really nice. Sparkle Gems might be my second favorite. And these are kind of your really pretty jewel earthy tones with the goldish, copperish, black and silver and white sort of a look. I love those. I think those are going to be awesome to use. Sequins, these are natural tone sequins. I had to cut this in half because it's big. And you get lots of each, 2 sizes of the, again, kind of the same palette here with the copper gold look. And then Sequin Trio, I cut this into 3 strips because the package is large and would not fit. But you have 2 colors plus just, I don't know if you call it white or just sort of iridescent. So a great number of those. Really nice that you won't run out. It's not like only getting 5 or 10 of something. And when I was all done, I realized that I forgot these. These somehow got tucked into something else. And these are called opaque ovals. So there are 4 colors of ovals. To me, they look like little Easter eggs. Anyway, I forgot those. So I'll have to package those up. So yes, drooling over the embellishments are the Sparkle Gems flat. Sparkle Gems, Sparkle Gems, Sparkle Gems, Sparkle Gems. Where'd you go? These right here. Yes, yes, Sparkle Gems. No, they are, I don't know if you can see, but no, they are not flat. The only flat things really are the sequins, and everything else is rounded. These are not huge though. I don't think these are quite lumpy. I was going to say they're not lumpy enough to cause extra postage, but you know what? I don't want to say that and then have somebody get mad at me. So always have your postmistress or postmaster check that for you. Let me see if there were the colors in the 4-pack tinsel. 4-pack tinsel. This one are not listed. Okay, let's look in the catalog. I assumed they were on the package. So let's look at the embellishment page. 4-pack is Pretty Peacock, Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst, and then the Lemon Lime Twist was on the top. Beautiful. Favorites. Favorite. Any other questions? Okay, so we got that. And let's see. Oh, Mary Jo says she got glasses when she was 2. Yep. Oh, yes, Kathy uses the same pockets but doesn't label them. Yes, I love them. Oh, Barbara got her first glasses at age 4. Yeah. My goodness. So, good. I'm glad you're all loving these. Let's move on to something else. I think I'm going to have to save some things for next week because otherwise this is going to be like the 4-hour video and you all will leave me. Let's look at, oh, these are cute. The new bags. The 4 new In Colors. Hang on, that's a duplicate. Let me figure out what color is missing. Here we go. The 4 new In Colors, and they are a really cute plaid. And I was looking at the possibilities, just the possibilities. And I love that There are several of the new embellishment packs that will fit in there. So great for prizes, for team, for customer thank yous, for just packaging up for treats. Really, really fun. So a lot of the new embellishments will fit in them. And remember we were talking about the background stamps? This background stamp is like this. I don't think it's identical. This looks almost a little more hand drawn, and this to me looks like absolutely perfect, but it's similar. So I think that's kind of cute that maybe if you were making a tag or something to go with it, if you had that background stamp, it would definitely coordinate. But again, I don't think it's identical. It just, to my eye, it doesn't look identical, but very cute. I really love these. And then this, I didn't even get to open this yet, but I really want to see this. So let's open. These are the Memories and More cards and envelopes. And every year I get these because I always love them. So printed envelopes, it looks like, oh, I was going to say two different ones, but that's the other side. So I take it back. All the envelopes are the same on one side and super jazzy on the other side. Same on the other side. Really pretty though. Look how pretty when they're folded and going through the mail. Isn't that really gorgeous? I love that. You know what's funny? It's kind of the same, isn't it the same colors as these tinsel gems that I love? Give or take. They'd go with either one, right? All of those tinsel gems. I'm just really drawn to all those colors. And then let's look at the card bases. So two different card bases. Pre-scored. Love that. Beautiful bubble bath. Kind of an ombre look there. That's going to be really easy to work with. And then this one matches the envelope. Kind of. I think it does, right? Goes with that. And you've just got maybe 3 colors kind of blended together on there. Again, I think really pretty. You know what? Let me look at something. I was just thinking. That die that we were looking at, wouldn't that be pretty? That would be so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have so much playing to do, everybody. Oh, yes, love these. Oh, John, so I think I started to say that and I got sidetracked. John says, I wish the colors were listed on the embellishments. I think the reason it's not is because you can see we have it in 4 languages. And I think that this would just get like too much text depending on how many colors are in something. And I think that's why it's not on there. It's a lot to add to that. So these are gorgeous. I'm going to have to order some more of these because I can tell, since these are all the Patty colors, that I'm going to use those a lot. Let's just look at the new ribbon, and then we're going to save all this other stuff for next week because there's so much here. I just have piles of things. Thank you for sharing. That's so nice of you. Yes. Oh, Polly and Gay love those. Yes. So pretty. They were so gorgeous, those cards. So these are the new ribbons that we could order on the 2nd. So you've already seen the ribbons that I got with the pre-order. So this is just in addition to. This is a 3-pack and it's called Sheer Ribbon Combo. Beautiful, beautiful, springy, bright, fun colors. And very, very soft and pliable. You know, I'm all about the soft and pliable. It has to tie a really nice bow. It has to tie a nice flat knot. And then I love it. That's like my criteria. So love this. And it has, if you can see, little sparkle, kind of, is it like a silver sparkle, I guess? Yeah. Down the edge. Really, really beautiful. So this is going to have a happy spot in my craft room, most definitely. And that comes in a 3-pack. And then there is, what is this called? Basic White herringbone ribbon. Okay, let's look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so soft. I was going to say thin, but I didn't want it to sound cheap. Definitely not cheap, but it's so pliable, so soft and beautiful. I really, really like this. This is nice. I think this will be really easy to work with. Again, that's the basic white herringbone ribbon. And then this blue ribbon, I'll tell you, this was one of those ones I was skeptical of because in the catalog, I was thinking this is going to be really bulky, really thick. I'm not going to like it on cards anyway, but it's really not. It's, look how it's really scrunchable. It's very pliable. And here's what I noticed that I like a lot about it is you really could use either side. You really could. If you didn't want that white pattern, you could flip it over and you see a little bit of the white, but it just looks like a different subtle pattern. And this is called Misty Moonlight Inner Braid Ribbon. Well, that's an interesting name. Misty Moonlight Inner Braid Ribbon. Do you wonder sometimes about naming the products? I do. This is called Natural Wavy Trim. And this I know was used on a lot of the Earth and Elegance samples. And it's very beautiful. It's just, gosh, takes me right back to the 70s and all the macrame. That's what it reminds me of. But really nice. It's very pliable. It's very workable. And I think it's a nice addition to having something that's a little bit different in the lineup. The last new ribbon that I got is called Bordered Ribbon, and it's in Lost Lagoon. So, okay, yes. So it has a very subtle border. So I guess that's why it's called that. It's kind of a natural woven. I really like it. I like that it has like lights and darks and whites in it. It's not just a solid color, you know, like this is solid. Do you see how it's kind of variegated? I really like the naturalness of it. And, you know, again, super pliable, super scrunchy, going to be really easy to make bows with. And I think I'm going to really like it because Lost Lagoon is such a gorgeous color. And then the last one is this new set of In Color jute trim. So it's thicker than twine or definitely thicker than linen thread. And it is the 5 new In Colors. Let's open and see, how does this feel? Oh, it's pretty thick. So speaking of macrame, like I could see myself having done a macrame project with this. So it's pretty thick. Let me see if it pulls apart. Oh, so I think you can untwist it. So it's wound. So if you untwist, wow, it is like really twisted. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, so if you untwist it, I think you could definitely use the pieces if you wanted something thinner, a little more like baker's twine, or if you just wanted to unravel the edge. I think that would be cool. So that's that. Oh, so many new things. There, like I said, there's piles and piles and piles over here. We're already at an hour. Did you have a favorite? Were you here at the beginning? Did you see these embossing folders that I showed? I showed these gorgeous garden dies. We went over this new punch, all the things that it does. The doilies we looked at. So many things. So many gorgeous things. Let's see if there were any questions. No problem, Nell. We're just ending. You're welcome to watch the replay. Oh, you're welcome. So Tammy says, this is her first live, so welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. She said, love that you cut some of the dies so that we can see what they look like. Yes, I know it's so important to see things sort of in action, and like with the embossing folders, see what it looks like, see what it looks like with ink. There's so many different things to kind of digest, and I try so hard to do that. Jean, we'll do the patchwork dies next week. I am so glad you all enjoyed this. I would love a thumbs up or a heart or a comment or a share, a like, whatever. And if you are a first timer, like we just, was it Tammy? Yes, was first timer. If you haven't found me on my blog, pattystamps.com is where I blog every day. You can request catalogs there. You can order through there if you are not a demonstrator or you do not have a demonstrator. I would appreciate that. Were there any other questions back here? Yes, Faye, it is sometimes hard to see things in the catalog, so I always try to show some examples. Let's see, anything else? Coloring the ribbon with blends, probably. I think you can color almost any of our ribbon with blends, Trina. Any other questions? I think I was caught up. Let me just scroll a little bit further. So next week, and I will post several reminders like I always do every week. Next week on May 12th, when we go over the rest of this product, new product, I will need to go live earlier because I have an appointment at 11. So watch for the time. I'll probably do 9. Probably, and I will post plenty of reminders. If you're signed up for my newsletter or you visit my blog, you'll see the reminders. If you check here on my business page, you'll see the reminders, but you'll see the time, and I think it'll probably be 9. You can always catch the replay. You know, of course, you can always catch the replay as well. Yes, have a great week, Wendy. Thank you. Oh, Patty, I'm glad you loved it all. Thanks, John. So do watch for the reminders about next week. Yeah, probably 9 o'clock. And then the replay will be available. And then for the 2 weeks after that, I won't be here because I will be on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. And we will be in London and Norway. So I'll be gone quite a while, and I will have some pre-posted, pre-scheduled things for you, but not a live video. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. You're welcome, Cindy. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a super fantastic weekend. And if you're watching a replay and you have a question, be sure to use #replay so that I can easily find your question. Again, thank you, everyone. I will see you next week, and I'll see you every day at pattystamps.com and here on my Facebook business page. Talk to you later. Bye.